Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, or middle of the night. I don't know when it is when you're watching this. I'm just glad you're here for this nugget of gold. Let's get into our verse packet and get a nugget. I'm going to go to the first card today. Let's see what it is. Psalm 34, 19 and 22. Psalm 34, 19 and 22. I believe I just read this with my wife maybe a few nights ago. Let's see. Actually, now that I think of it, I read it with you guys. Psalm 34 we used when we were talking about the brain tumor celebration a few days ago. But now we've got some verses at the end of the chapter. So let's hear these. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. The Lord redeems the life of his servants. None who take refuge in him will be condemned. Psalm 34, 19 and 22. Some really specific verses, some really honest verses for life on planet Earth. Let's pause and pray. The beginning of this verse leads me to two really big, really important thoughts. It begins with, many are the afflictions of the righteous. And I'm still amazed by how many days I wake up and I'm surprised that life isn't perfect yet. Do you ever find yourself frustrated again, or not just frustrated, but surprised? I don't think we acknowledge that on maybe the surface of our brain, but we continually too often find ourselves surprised by my kids are acting the same naughty ways as they did yesterday. What is going on here? Or my car is not a perfect, flawless machine yet. Or the refrigerator died. And we're shocked. We're shocked when difficulty comes in. But the Bible is extremely honest with us. It says, many are the afflictions of the righteous. And so this isn't just talking about the regular physical world difficulties. It says, many are the afflictions of the righteous. We need to prepare ourselves not to be surprised by difficulty. As God's righteous people, we are going to be trying to swim against the current. When we live for Jesus, we need to expect that we are going to be bumping into various difficulties because the world around us is going in a different direction. We're going to bump into difficulties of people who don't understand us. We're going to bump into difficulties of people who disagree with us. And maybe the most common one, we're going to bump into the difficulty of doing things in our hard times that others disagree with, because we're seeking to honor the Lord in our difficulty rather than seeking to make it easy on ourselves. Man, that's a big thought. So many people that I've talked to say their friends' advice is about the easy way, the way that seems more natural, the same way that seems more obvious, but the way they're trying to go is the way of honoring the Lord, and that can be more difficult. It can be more of a strain because they want to honor Jesus. Understand, when you seek to live God's way, you're going to have to push in his strength, rely on his strength, because the current of the culture is pushing against you. But the promise here is great. The promise here is wonderful. Many are the afflictions, but the Lord delivers them out of them all. The Lord delivers them out of them all. This doesn't say when he will deliver you, but he will deliver you. It doesn't say how he will deliver you, but it promises he will deliver you. No matter how hard life is, no matter how difficult the afflictions are, God's promise is he will help. And in the end, his greatest help may be that your life on this earth comes to an end by the means of his choosing, and he delivers you out of your difficulty by bringing you to paradise. But his promise still stands. The Lord delivers them out of all their afflictions. My last thought, see if I can say it in just a couple seconds. When we have afflictions, when we have difficulty, we can expect discouragement to come. Discouragement is not a sin, but I want to remind you to be careful with your discouragement, because discouragement leads to complaining. And when we begin complaining about the circumstances that we face, those complaints end up turning our hearts towards complaining vertically, or complaining about God, or what we would say doubting God. So we need to be really careful when discouragement comes, and it will, about how we complain and how those complaints cause us to doubt God's goodness. Here is the promise: the Lord delivers us out of all our trouble. He will do it someday. Trust in Him today. Do not let complaint curl you up into an ugly place. Have that hope as you move forward, and we'll see you again soon.